If you are an artist in Web3, you were probably making these 5 mistakes, and I will tell you what they are.
You are listening to NFT Talk Show, where we put the T in NFT. I am your host, Tony Payne, and if you have ever wanted to know anything and everything, including all the juicy deets about NFTs, you are in the right place. So buckle up, get ready, and let's go.
Before we continue, this episode is powered by the Champagner Social Club, bringing people together in Web2 and Web3. I am Tony Payne, and you are listening to the NFT Talk Show podcast. And I will be talking about 5 common mistakes artists are making in Web3. Number 1, calling yourself an NFT artist. While there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, it kind of limits you to saying, okay, well, I only make art using the NFT technology. If that is what you do, then that's perfectly fine. But I personally think that it's better when you define yourself by what you do. Are you a photographer? Even break it down a little bit more. Are you a still life photographer like me? Are you a 3D artist, right? Are you the digital artist? What exactly do you do? So I think when you say I'm an NFT artist, you somehow limit yourself to the small space of just doing art in NFTs. Now, again, if you do not plan to branch out or do art outside of the NFT space, then that's fine. You can define yourself as an NFT artist. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you do plan to use your tools elsewhere, you might want to rethink it. Defining yourself by the technology that is being used to mint your art onto the blockchain, I think is a bit limiting. I think you should be seen as an extension or an arm, as an extension or an arm of what you do. So I'm a photographer that mints my work as using NFTs on the blockchain. I'm also a photographer that sells prints, or I'm also a photographer that can send you digital files if you purchase them. So just sticking to that one medium, I think, is a bit limiting. But like I said, you do what makes you happy. This is an opinion, and I feel like it's one common mistake that people make. I see people go, I'm an NFT artist, and I'm thinking, okay, what do you do? Versus if you say, I am a documentary photographer, it's clearer what you do. Okay. Another common mistakes artists make in Web3 is having absolutely no website. Um, that is actually one of the strangest ones for me because I have come across a lot of artists, no judgment, that do not have a website. And from what I know, most artists will have somewhere that you can go to find out more information about them, either an About Us page, um, or a portfolio or something outside of social media usage, like a Twitter or Instagram, that you can go to for more information about them. And I think that's one mistake that I see that is actually very common in the Web3 space that artists do make. And I think every artist should have, even if it's a one-page landing page that just has your About Us, your portfolio, and your email contact information, because social media isn't altogether reliable, right? Number 3, another mistake that artists make in Web3 is relying solely on Twitter or other social media platforms. I have seen situations where people have gotten suspended just for no reason. And they're like, oh, why did I get suspended? So imagine building your entire base and having no other place for somebody to reach you but Twitter or but another social media app like Instagram or whatnot. And you have built your entire art career on that app. And then one day they suspend you and suspend your account. Boom, you're gone. How would that make you feel? So I think that's one mistake that I see that a lot of artists do make in Web3 is not spreading themselves out and relying solely on Twitter. I think it's a very, very bad idea. I've seen people lose over 50K followership accounts on Twitter. So you've got to be careful about that. Number 4, putting all their eggs in one basket. Another mistake that I do see Web3 artists or artists in Web3 make is putting all their eggs in one basket. You got to branch out, right? There's a whole world out there outside of the Twitter bubble, outside of the Web3 space, outside of NFTs, that would love to discover your art as well. So limiting yourself to just one space, I think, is, not a great idea. If you don't have the bandwidth for it, that's fine. But I think it is a good idea not to put all your eggs in one basket. I've seen artists do that where they spend, a year plus within the NFT space grinding, and eventually left because they couldn't do it anymore, because again they focused too hard on one thing and wasted a lot of time, and it didn't get them anywhere. So you have to spread yourself out and be seen outside and inside the Web3 space. Number 5 of common mistakes that artists make in Web3. Another common mistake that I see is not worrying about branding. You're an artist, you're a brand. However way you want to look at it. Let's think about some of the successful artists out there right now. Banksy, brand. Andy Warhol, brand. So most of the successful artists out there are actually brands, and people like to identify with the brand. Even your influencers are indirectly brands, and people like to identify with brands. And seeing yourself as a brand and working towards building your brand and positioning your brand is how you're going to grow inside and outside of Web3. So another common mistake artists make is not seeing themselves as a brand. So I will advise you to start seeing yourself as a brand and working towards building your brand. So we're going to run that back again. 5 common mistakes that artists make in Web3. Number 1, calling yourself an NFT artist and limiting yourself. Not a good idea. Number 2, having no website. You need to have your own website. It is very important. Number 3, relying solely on Twitter, because Twitter could chuck your page at any time and you would be on your own. Oh, yeah. Number 4, putting all your eggs in one basket. We do not want to put all our eggs in one basket. We want to make sure we spread ourselves out there and do not put our eggs in one basket. Number 5, branding. Not feeling branding is important is a big no-no. You have to see yourself as a brand and build out your brand. That is super important. All right, so those are 5 common mistakes that artists make in Web3. So that is going to be it for this episode of the NFT Talk Show podcast. I am Tony Payne. And do not forget, if you have not done so yet, you can mint or join our community by minting our community tokens. If you go on our website, you will see a link that says NFT token. Click on the link and it will take you to where you can mint the token. If you enjoyed this episode, do not forget to subscribe, and do not forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell everybody in their neighborhood to listen to the NFT Talk Show. That is going to be it for me for this episode. You know what it is. I will catch you on the blockchain. Bye.